Some bunnies with a bazooka dunk.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome to A Tribe Called Swish. This is your boy B Moore. Again, flying solo dolo. But our next episode, we will have Jay Moore, nephew Josh. He will be back. But for today, he just got me. So it's a good Tuesday morning. We probably get this on Wednesday, probably. We'll see. But anyway, we got a few topics we're going to talk about. We got the WNBA All-Star Weekend we're going to touch on. We've got the WNBA collective bargaining, and no one seems to know what the hell they're talking about. So I'm going to try to break down a few things that I learned from some research. We're going to talk about some more wrestling this week, which will be cool. And lastly, we're going to end with Tyler the Creator, his new album, Don't Tap the Glass. Spoiler alert, it's pretty good. All right, so first things first, No, I was joking. First things first, what we're going to start with WNBA All-Star Weekend. So this is my first time actually partaking into All-Star Weekend, not going, but just watching the events, looking at the stuff on socials. And look, I think they did a good job this weekend. It got me interested. Stud Buds was clearly the winner of the weekend. I would have never thought that podcast with those cast of characters and them just kind of wreaking havoc all through Indianapolis would just be like the talk of the town, and getting corporate sponsors to really want to invest in them. I mean, great job. I never heard of them before this weekend, so it was all new to me. But their shenanigans, just watching them move and everything, was great. The fact that they couldn't get into the club and they were like, hey, somebody call Caitlyn, just because they know how much power she has, it's just funny. It was just really cool. It's just really cool to see the women out and about, enjoying themselves, having fun, kind of looking like the guys do in All-Star Weekend. Listen, I was a fan of it. And again, I think they've got me. You know, they have stars now. They have stars with character. And I think that's something that I never expected. Not saying that women basketball players don't have character or don't have personalities. It was just the fact that I never saw them on display like that. And to be honest, I was never looking for it to begin with. Again, Stud Buds won the weekend. Caitlin Clarkson, to be like, she was a good host. She seemed human this weekend, not just a right-wing lightning rod to be, against all black women that she's been used for. So I appreciated that. I thought she was a great host. The actual game was cool. I think they have the same problem that the men's All-Star game do with the lack of defense, lack of competitiveness. I like the idea of the 4-point shot. I think that's a good thing, but I would like them to do more like a rock and jock from back in the day, where it was only active during certain parts of the game, because we just saw them firing from 4-pointers the whole game, and that does not make for a fun game to watch. It becomes more of an exhibition of shooting. And again, the men have this same issue of just it's become shooting and not skill. So you didn't see any fancy drives. And listen, with the women's game, what I've always respected is that they were great with finesse. They had great ball handling. They did great movement. We didn't see a lot of that during the All-Star game, but it was fun. The women were having fun, and it was a good watch. I just like what I want with the men's All-Star game, more competitive, more aggressiveness to the hoop, not just relying on shooting 1,000 3-pointers or 4-pointers in this case. Sabrina Ionescu, she wins the 3-point shootout. So she's easily, I guess, the best shooter in the W right now. I think she's a star. Like, I remember seeing her playing when she was at Oregon, and I've just always thought that she just had I always liked her game. I've always been a fan of her game. And her shoes are dope too. I think her bringing out the all-star editions of her shoes, great idea. This is what the men's game missed for their All-Star Weekend. Nike and the other companies didn't make that same mistake for this weekend when it comes to the events around the All-Star game. We had the All-Star Kobe's that were a reference to Kobe wearing the WNBA orange hoodie. We had the Ionescu 3s, that All-Star edition. We had the Me Bound 1s that was debuted. So all of these things were happening during All-Star Weekend, and that's how you bring people in. You get people interested. Like, oh, it's All-Star Weekend? Didn't know that. I might have known about the shoes, but did not know about the actual event. So that's how you bring people in. That's how you bring the casuals in, and people who might not even be checking for a WNBA All-Star game. So good job for the companies associated with it. Natasha Cloud from the Liberty, she won the skills competition. She blazed through that course. Her speed was insane. It was insane. I was in awe because she made the elbow jumpers. She hit the passes. Like, just her time was just, I don't know. I just sat there in amazement. So amazing display. Nafreesha Collins won All-Star MVP. 36 points. Balling. Amazing. Surprising that Skylar Diggins did not get MVP for registering the first triple-double in WNBA All-Star history. Great job for Skylar Diggins Smith. I've always been a fan of her. All in all, WNBA All-Star Weekend, in my opinion, was a success. I think this is how you build upon a brand, a product, and this is how you keep that ball moving. No matter what people are the controversy about the t-shirts or whatever they're trying to say, ignore it. This was a W for the W. The WNBA collective bargaining. I am not an economist. I am not a sports business expert, but I can read and I know math, and I know when things don't seem right. People who have no idea of what collective bargaining is, how things work, have lots of opinions on things. They're doing math wrong. They're trying to equate things that don't make sense. They're doing comparisons of apples and oranges, and they aren't listening. One of the biggest things that I've seen is that people misunderstand that they think the WNBA players want the same pay as the NBA players. That's not the discussion. None of them are expecting a $50 million contract like LeBron, right? That's not the discussion. The discussion is about revenue sharing. The WNBA is making more money. People keep throwing around, they've been operating at a $50 million loss. Let's attack that first, the $50 million loss that people keep bringing up. These owners are billionaires. You think that if there was no light at the end of the tunnel, that these billionaires would keep investing money in these franchises if there wasn't any light at the end of the tunnel? Do you think these billionaires will be paying a $250 expansion fee if there was no sign of profit at the end of the tunnel? They don't care that the first 3 years they're in the red. They have great accountants and they can figure that out. But they know that there's a profit around the corner because they see merchandising sales are up, ticket sales are up, TV viewership is up. All things are pointing upward. So that's why, as these negotiations happen, the players, the actual product, they're saying, yes, we want more money. No, we're not expecting NBA money. We're just expecting a larger pie of the revenue sharing. And where that lands, that's to be negotiated. But the fact that middle class to lower class people are cheering on billionaires and saying, keep your thumb on the working man, is wild to me. Most of these people are employees themselves. And if the shoe was on the other foot, they would be like, I want more money. And that's one of the weirdest dynamics that I've seen when it comes to sports, is that the everyday person, the working person, cheering on the boss. And when they walk into their actual jobs that they have to go to, they hate their bosses and they hate the owners because they don't feel they're being compensated enough. It's such a weird dynamic. But what's happening is that revenue sharing is the central of collective bargaining right now. So what they're looking for is just a balanced model comparable to what the NBA has. So base right now is based on what an economist, a Nobel award-winning economist, Claudia Golden. She's saying currently what the WNBA's revenue sharing is at is like 1/80th of what the all revenue is, in comparison to what NBA players and if they did a kind of a comparison what NBA players make, that would make they should be up to 1/3 to a quarter, well, a quarter to a third of the revenue sharing is how it should be instead of 1/80th. So somewhere in between there is where the sweet spot is going to lie. They deserve more than 1/80th, but they may not do the other economic factors people to get the max of a third of the revenue sharing. With revenue sharing also, the NBA players are guaranteed a certain percentage. There is no guarantee on the WNBA side in the current collective bargaining. There are new TV deals, again, as I said before, so it makes sense that the that the WNBA players get more money. I've seen David Sampson do this terrible bit about pay us what you owe.
The t-shirt, pay us what you owe us, would somehow imply that there is something that the WNBA owners and the WNBA personnel, the NBA owners, that somehow they were doing something wrong. They underpaid them.
David Sampson is a nerd, so he doesn't get colloquialisms. Pay us what you owe is not something that means verbatim. It's not a literal term. Pay us what you owe means that, hey, we are making more money. So as we negotiate this, we want more money. That's the principle. And so for him to either be intellectually dishonest or ignorant that that's the intent of that t-shirt is ridiculous. The purpose of the t-shirts isn't saying that they owe us money because they haven't been paying us. They're saying as we enter this new phase, we want more money. And not only do we want more money, we deserve more money. So pay us what you owe. It's a really simple concept. Also something that's being misunderstood. Team valuations on WNBA franchises have gone up. So we're ignoring, for this point, the $250 million expansion fee that's being paid that the three new franchises in Philly, Cleveland, and Detroit, that they're being paid, that they paid the league. Estimated, because they don't really, unless it's being sold, they don't really do a true valuation. The New York Liberty is estimated at $400 million. Now listen, that's poultry to the billions that the NBA teams are worth. But for a team to be evaluated at $400 million, that means that the financial experts see the value. In comparison with a few years ago, the valuation of these teams were like $100 million. So now the economics of the WNBA has changed. And this is what we have to understand. So when people are acting weird, like why should they want to be paid more? Because either they're not paying attention or they just don't have the information, is again, they're just being intellectually dishonest. And worse off, being flat out sexist. I mean, that's possible. But the business dictates that they get more money. And that's the black and white of it all. Now again, where that lands, who knows? I think you have Caitlin Clark is the star. She is the Magic Johnson of the WNBA right now. She is that star to get this ball rolling. And you have Paige Beckers, who's also a big star, big Nike athlete. You have Sabrina Ionescu, who's also a big star. Whether you like her or hate her, Angel Reese is a star. And lastly, but certainly not least, Asia Wilson is a star. And I would even argue in certain aspects, her and Caitlin Clark might not be as far away stardom as you may think. Because there's something about Asia Wilson that you just like. That she just has a star thing about her. Like I think Caitlin Clark's game is what made her a star, and these right-wing idiots made her a star. But Asia Wilson's game and how she presents herself off the court, she just has star material about her. And I think that's something that you can't buy. Something you can't manufacture. And I think Nike is finally waking up to this. Nike is finally having basketball ads with her in them. The W was looking great. I mean, Asia is at her prime right now. Lots more years left in the league. But when you look at the youth movement and what's happening with Paige, and you have Caitlyn, and you have Juju in a couple years, the W is set up for long-term success. Now, who's going to be that Michael Jordan that's going to take them into the stratosphere? We'll see. We'll see who that person is. But right now, they have their Bird Magic Dr. J. And then in a few years, we'll see who that Michael Jordan is. It could be Juju, but that's a lot to put on their young shoulders. But all that's to say is that the WNBA collective bargaining is a complicated matter that cannot be explained in 180 characters. These billionaires aren't going to keep sinking money, 30 years worth of money, into a sinking ship if they didn't think there was money at the end of the tunnel. The W's in a great position. It's only going to get better. So we all need to sit back, tune in, and just enjoy the show. The road to SummerSlam has been bumpy. And complicating matters, of course, the Seth Rollins injury. But nothing has really moved me. I mean, Cena and Cody again, cool. I mean, I think they're completely wasting a Drew McIntyre PLE appearance with this, him and Logan Paul and Jelly Roll and Randy Orton. I think they're completely wasting that. I think a Drew Randy run could be great just by themselves if they had a lead up, because I think both of them are great on the mic. Both of them are great at just performing, and I think that's something that could really be a good story to tell. But throwing in Jelly Roll and Logan Paul is just, ugh. I understand the WWE has to figure out what to do with Logan Paul because no one wants him as a champion, but he's also a good heel. So how do you use him in a way that makes sense? And they're still trying to figure that out. You have CM Punk versus Gunther. They're trying to get heat with this. Gunther is just not a natural CM Punk enemy right now. He's not a natural heel for CM Punk. And it becomes obvious because their interactions seem so forced. Like I don't like this because there's no real lead up to it. They had the gauntlet match last week, but there's no real lead up to CM Punk Gunther, right? So then we have Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Jade won Queen of the Ring, so that got her this championship match. Again, I hope they don't propel her to as a champion. I think this doesn't seem like a natural match to me. This doesn't feel real. Like I felt going into last year's SummerSlam when after Nia won the belt, there was lots of heat from Nia from that moment to SummerSlam that made that match exciting. This year, I just don't feel it. I don't, the quote, "Oh, we don't believe you. You need more people," because that's how I feel right now about this. The three-way match of Rhea, Io, and Naomi. This has grown on me because I wasn't sold on Naomi as a heel, but she's done some works in the last 2 weeks that's got me like, okay, I'm in. I feel like Rhea's been a great worker. I think she has been I guess the term would be giving. She has taken some big L's. She's been around the title picture, but not really in it. As I said last week, I'm not a fan of the Io Sky title run. I felt like they didn't know what to do with her, and she was in limbo a lot of the times. So I'm glad to see Io on TV more. I thought her match last night with Stephanie Bakir was really good. It was really solid. And of course I love the run into Rhea. So, and Naomi and all that happened last night. I think they have something. Unfortunately, they only have 12 days to turn up the heat on us. But it's simmering, and it's almost at the right point. It's like it's got me invested in it. It's definitely got me invested in it. We've got Solo against Jacob Fatu. My biggest beef with this is that I don't like the fact that they have dropped the invincibility from Jacob Fatu. I don't like that. Jacob Fatu, for me, works better when he's almost invincible. And I know as a face you can't really do that because you have to have the lows, the comebacks, and all that. But the fans love the Wild Man Jacob Fatu. They love it. I love Wild Man Jacob Fatu, and he's doing that, but it's a very tamer version. Like, I need the initial Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu, that crazy guy who doesn't feel pain, who does everything, who wows out. That's what I need in this match. I honestly wouldn't be upset if this is a squash match. Jacob Fatu needs that I can't be beaten fetal again. He needs that. Now, in contrast, I will say, Solo is a good champion because Solo almost reminds me of almost like a Joker or a Riddler character to Batman, right? They can't outfight Batman. They can't do any of these things. They're not stronger than Batman, not faster than Batman, not none of these things. But they have smarts, they have wit, and they know how to get small victories. That's the angle Solo was working, and I'm a fan. I think it completely works. I think this is how you should work it. But I do want to see dominant Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam. We've got Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. We'll see. I'm not sure what they're doing with Charlotte Flair. She's a face now, I guess. So they need to do more with her. I think I know they're still fleshing out her character or this, because she was really hated from Royal Rumble to about June, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's kind of move her over to being a face. So I don't know. Again, this match, meh. I am all on board Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez as a team. I think Roxanne Perez is a great performer. I'm a huge fan of her. But I think that this is limiting for her. I think we need to see Roxanne Roxanne and Liv. We need to see that story when Liv gets back, because I think that's going to elevate Roxanne to the next level. I don't like that she's not in the women's US title or women's intercontinental title picture, because I think that's where she should be at, because they've already elevated Stephanie Vaquer to the championship run. So I think Roxanne Perez is better, or working to be more than a mid-carder, but not even giving her like really mid-carder minutes, so to speak. So we'll see. So SummerSlam is just kind of, it's all over the place for me. I think there are 3 matches I'm really excited about, but they've got some work to do. I think they're really wasting Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for SummerSlam. I think they could have really been building up a bigger thing for those two. Like, they have the personalities and they have the talent where it could have been a CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, or Drew McIntyre, Damien Priest type thing, and they're kind of wasting it. So last night on Monday Night Raw, we've got the Becky Lyra story is great. Also, they're going to be at SummerSlam. That's going to be a great match. They're trying to squeeze Bayley into it. Not quite sure how that works, but they're kind of working that out. Karrion Kross, Sami Zayn. This is a weird one for me. I don't like Karrion Kross in the ring. I think he lumbers. I think it's kind of, I don't know. It's just not a great watch. Sami is always great in the ring. I love watching Sami Zayn wrestle. But Karrion Kross is not that great. But his character is amazing. And he reminds me of a Kevin Sullivan. For those who remember back in the day, he reminds me of a Kevin Sullivan character. He kind of has that to him. But the in-ring, for me, just doesn't work. but I also didn't like him as kind of like a manager type thing, what they were doing before with the with AOP. I'm not quite sure where I am with Karrion Kross right now. I know I want him around. I just don't know how. And also it could be like I'm not sure if this Kross Zayn story works for me, and maybe Kross and somebody else might work better, but something for me just is missing. And it's weird because I don't know what it is, but something about Karrion Kross with him and Sami Zayn doesn't work. But his mic work is so good. How he gets into this, it's great. I'm interested in him as a character. I just don't have interest in him as a wrestler, if that makes sense. Finally, we got Roman back on TV. Roman Reigns, the OTC.
Acknowledge me.
Has returned. So, and not only is he back on TV, he's talking again. I feel like they've made him a mute on TV. I feel like it's been like a year since we really heard Roman on the mic. He's finally back on TV. He's talking his OTC-ish. And, you know, he did his thing last night. Again, just like with Jacob Fatu, I want him to bring back his invincibility. I don't want to see him coming back on TV constantly taking L's like they did at the end of last year. That was awful. Every week, Roman was getting his ass kicked, his face pushed in. This week, better. Jey Uso came in. It was good. It was good. Great way to end Raw. No real complaints. Roman again was gritting the mic, calling Paul Heyman dumbass over and over. Braun Breaker, I think that's going to be something, and they're going to try to make it something. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an announcement of a Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed versus Jey and Roman for SummerSlam. The last minute ad. Would not be surprised. Overall, Raw last night was cool. Not great, but it was cool. Again, anytime the Tribal Chief shows back up, that's never a bad thing. So last week, my blind ranking of the men superstars went well. You know, guys got good viewing on that. Lots of comments about how I'm wrong or whatever. But we're gonna do blind ranking top 5 women. There's a pool of 11 women from both brands. And I have no idea which who's coming next, or you know. So I'm going to, again, that's how blind ranking works. You don't know the order they're going to come in. You're just going to get the names, and here we go. So the first name in the blind ranking is Tiffany Stratton. I like Tiffany. She's super athletic. She's good on the mic. She's gotten better and better and better since I've started watching wrestling again. Tiffy time has kind of taken a hold. I'm not excited for her against Jade, but Tiffany Stratton is she's solid. She's solid. So I'm gonna go Tiffany Stratton. I am gonna go 3 for Tiffany Stratton because I think she's really good. I think she's really good. I'm not sure if there are too many I would put ahead of her. So Tiffany Stratton, number 3. She's my third in this blind rank. Ooh, Bayley. Okay, Bayley is next up. I like Bayley. I think Bayley is a good wrestler. I think she's only okay on the mic. I feel like right now, I don't know where they're going with her. I think she's in a weird limbo. I liked Bayley better as a heel when she was in Damage Control. I think that was some of her best work that I've ever seen. So I really want this current iteration of Bayley. I don't have any connection to. So I'm going to say Bayley at number 5 because I don't really see her really better than anybody else. So Bayley is my number 5 person. Bianca Belair. Woo, where am I going to put the EST? I love Bianca Belair. I think she is one of the best performers, period, the WWE has. Full stop. Is she better than Tiffany Stratton? Hands down, easily, yes. How many people can I really think of better than her? Bianca Belair is my number 2 in this blind rank because she is just an amazing performer. The next name is Naomi. So where am I going to put Naomi? So I have 1 and 4 left. This is easy. Naomi's number 4. I think this iteration of Naomi is great. I think the glow thing ran its course. But this version of Naomi is great. She's been good on the mic. She's had good stories. She's made the stories better. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Number 4, Naomi. I mean, she's slowly moving up my list. I mean, in a month, I could see her switching with Tiffany Stratton depending on how Tiffany performed at SummerSlam. But yeah, I'm gonna go Naomi at number 4. And lastly, the person for number 1, and there was really no matter where she came in, I would have put her number 1. Rhea Bloody Ripley. Rhea is the best woman superstar right now. She has it all. Great moves, great personality, great mic presence. She is the total package. She is everything that the women's division needs. There are 2 people who I would think would even be a discussion with her for that number 1 spot. It's Bianca, who I put number 2, who had a tough time at number 2, or Becky. That's it. The rest of everybody else is fighting for, 3rd place. Like, those names can really rotate depending on what's happening. Rhea Ripley's my number 1. She is the best. To me, she's the best performer. I have no problem with her being number 1. I would have had a problem with some other people that could have been number 1, but I have no problem with Rhea being number 1. She is the best women's performer, and I'm a fan of her. So yeah, that's my blind ranking. So number 1, Rhea Ripley. Number 2, Bianca Belair. Number 3, Tiffany Stratton. 4, Naomi. 5, Bayley. I think I got this one right. Yeah, I like it. Tyler, the Creator, dropped a surprise album, Don't Tap the Glass, on Monday. And I say surprise because he kind of gives a heads up on Saturday on Twitter. This is a dance album. This is not an album where Tyler's trying to drop double or triple entendres. This is him just making fun music because that's what he was feeling. I like his premise of he's saying that I like the premise of he wants people to dance because we're in such a phone era and such a video era that people are afraid to be embarrassed. And I think that's true. Like, I couldn't imagine being in the club when that was that part of my life, trying to dance with a woman and then worried about being recorded. Because you try to be too cool on camera. And I like the fact that he's tapping into that. So I hope the kids, the youth, the people in their 20s kind of heed this and just like, you know what? We're going to go out, we're going to put our phones down, we're going to just have fun. We're going to talk to people. We're not going to be voyeurs of the moment. We're going to be in the moment. Tyler channeled his inner Pharrell in Pharrell's girl era. That's what I got from this. And, Pharrell's also on the first song. I felt this is very Neptunes inspired, very Pharrell inspired. Tyler's very good friends with Pharrell, so it doesn't surprise me. But it's just a good album. It's a fun album. It's an easy listen. It's like 39 minutes. It's quick. Yeah, check it out. Again, I'm not gonna do a deep dive on it because I don't think that's what this album is about. This album isn't about us breaking down lyric by lyric. This album isn't made for a lyrical breakdown. This album was made for fun. I think Stop Playing With Me though, that song, Tyler is spitting his ass off. All right, let's keep it a buck. Tyler was rapping for real on Stop Playing With Me, and I like him. My favorite Tyler is when Tyler is talking that shit. That is my favorite version of Tyler, the Creator. Stop Playing With Me is cool. It's not lost to me that he has some of Aubrey Graham's biggest ops in the video of LeBron James and the clips. I think it's funny, actually. And whether that was intentional or that was thought out, who knows? I don't see Tyler really caring. I think he likes both people, both groups of people, and so it was convenient for them to be in the video, and there you have it. So yeah, so anyway, all that said, check out the album Don't Tap the Glass. It's not for everyone. It's not one of those things where I'm going to be like, it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know it wasn't my cup of tea. Tyler makes it work, and I will be enjoying this album and listening to this album again. With that said, brings us to an end of another episode of A Tribe Called Swish. Thank you for checking it out. I'm probably going to be back on Thursday with Josh, and we're going to talk about some more WNBA stuff and more NBA transactions. All right, see you then. Peace.